Let's talk about Monkey Swagger. This is the first example that they sent me to solo to. Pretty much a song like this chord progression is pretty much D minor, and you can hear that through the whole thing. And if you're tasteful and you use your ear, you can make a lot happen just with the pentatonic stuff, you know. On the intro, I like to create really simple motifs that people can kind of sing along with. That's kind of my approach. I'm not really thinking scalarly. But if I were, I would think probably D Dorian, because that's probably the most common modern sounding minor scale that blues and rock players go to. So on the beginning, I was thinking pretty much D minor. When the song picks up a little bit, when it goes into, like, I guess you'd call it the A section, I doubled up the time a little bit and played a few more hot licks, as it were. And then when the chords start to change, the chords, as you know, are B flat major 7, A minor, and G minor. That all of a sudden sends you kind of into the key of F major. So you can still stay in D if you want to. You just got to change from D Dorian, which is C major, right? You got to stay in D and make it into like D natural minor. So pretty much all I'm doing is that when the chords start changing, if I play a scale at all, it's probably going to be F major with that B flat in there. Now, something to with that B flat in it. Something to remember too, when chords like this change, when they're pretty diatonic, it sounds really nice to kind of nail chord tones on the downbeats. And if you, I did that when the chords first started moving from a, when it went to, I went nailing a chord tone. And that's pretty much true. If you want to make sure you're really nailing chord changes, it's really important to kind of target chord tones on the downbeats of the measure, on the first downbeat of the measure of the new chord. So in this case, that's pretty much what I was doing. I was kind of letting my ear, because I've been playing long enough that my ear can kind of hear these changes, and I can kind of dictate pretty good just using my ear. But that's pretty much what I'm doing. When the chords are changing, and hitting chord tones on the G minor as well. So pretty much D minor, Dorian world, and then when the changes come up, you kind of go to D natural minor or F major. And then of course the last kick, which I'm not sure if I nailed all the time, I would have punched that in until I got it perfectly because it comes on the beat 3 of the measure, is the E flat major 7 chord. And here's something just to kind of think about. When we were at Berkeley, we kind of learned that if a major 7 chord appears in a progression whose root, in this case the E flat, the root, is not diatonic to what's already been happening, then you play Lydian. I mean, most jazz guys will play Lydian anyway, just because that's more of a modern sound. But there are times you can get away with playing just a regular Ionian major scale. Oftentimes, if the root of the major 7 chord that appears is actually a diatonic tone to the key that you were already in. Make any sense? In this case, it goes to E flat. E flat's not related to either of these keys. Well, it's not related to F. It wouldn't be E flat major anyway. So I play E flat major, E flat Lydian sound. And that's pretty much the whole song. After that, it's just kind of a feel-good type of groovy thing that you can get away with just playing D minor pentatonics. Now, one way I like to practice with even the simplest jazz songs with my students, like Blue Bossa, is have them play a solo with nobody playing chords and see if you can really hear the chord changes. Because a lot of times when students learn tonal centers, they just stay in one scale and they just kind of loop around forever. In this case, if you wanted you to hear the chord changes, I'd go. You hear D minor, and then when it goes. You can really hear those changes go by. And that sounds really pretty, it's really melodic, and this song kind of seemed to want that. And then of course when it goes into the, if I spend a little more time on it, I might like make sure I nail that right on that third beat of the measure. So that's pretty much it for Monkey Swagger. Besides that, you know, chord tones, use taste, and this is the kind of song you can just kind of play D minor pentatonic and think as tastefully as possible. You know, use your ear. A song where you play slow and melodic, always sing along. And I should say that for the rest of this whole series, whenever a chord is in question, I mean, if you try to dissect it, analyze it as best you can from a theoretical point, and it still doesn't sound quite right when you go to that scale, you know, your best bet is to kind of play the chord slowly and sing a scale. Bum, 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 bum. Right? You just kind of know it's going to be D Dorian is going to be the first over the groove. And when it starts changing, bum, 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 that B flat comes into play, which makes it D natural minor, like we talked about before. Anyway, that's it. Signing off for this month. Monkey's Swagger.